Okay, now we're going to talk about the middle ear, which is basically this. The outer ear is considered the pinna, this ear part, and the external auditory meatus up to the tympanic membrane. And so we're going to, this right here, what we often call as the eardrum, this is the middle ear, and just really this area right here, once you get back to this part back here is the inner ear, but going right to here, this part, whoops, where that just fell, is the middle ear. So I'll show you on this. First of all, this is kind of as the sound comes in, it's facing, comes in at this point, and this is the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. It's like a membrane. And on this side too, here is the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. You should call it the tympanic membrane. On this model, you see here is the external auditory meatus, and on the opposite side here is the eardrum right here. All right. There's going to be three ear bones, three middle ear bones, and they will be, as you look at them here, all right, the one that's right attached to the tympanic membrane, so it's going to be, this is part of it here, this is the head of it, and then it comes down here. This is the malleus, okay, the malleus or the hammer. Then this next one here that has kind of this shape going down here and here, this is the incus. And then the stapes has been broken off, but it comes here. This little stirrup looks just like a stirrup that you'd use on a horse. That is the stapes right there. So this is a bone. This is the smallest bone in the human body. That's the stapes. All right. In this one, we will look. So now we're looking from the medial side, like inside the outer ear is out here. All right. So here again, this is the tympanic membrane right here. It really is like a membrane. This is attached to it. We're going to talk about the parts in a minute, but this is the malleus right here. So the malleus there is attached to it. Attached to that is the incus. So this is the incus. And in class, you'll see pictures that might help you imagine the shape better, but it shaped kind of like an anvil. So that's the incus. And then the stapes is very obvious again. The stapes really looks just like a stirrup for horses. Okay. Then the eustachian tube is going to be, so here is the outer ear, here's the external auditory meatus. The tympanic membrane is sitting right here, all right? This here is the eustachian tube. So the eustachian tube is this is considered the middle ear cavity, right where these bones are that are sitting. This is a cavity of air, all right? And this eustachian tube is a tube that goes to that middle ear cavity. It's often closed, but it can open up when you need to equalize the pressure from the outside to this middle ear cavity, to inside the middle ear. All right, so that's the eustachian tube. Let's see, in this model, you can't really see the eustachian tube in this model. They've closed it up so they don't have it, but it would probably be going down here. So it's a tube that goes and then ends up going back to the back of the nasopharynx. All right. Tympanic sulcus is going to be, so here's the tympanic membrane, and there's kind of a groove. We'll pull out this part. This is the tympanic sulcus that the tympanic membrane sits. It's literally a kind of groove in the temporal bone where it can sit. Okay. And in this other model, you can also kind of see it, right? So here's the tympanic membrane again. If we take it out, it's really this groove right here. There's kind of a groove right there. Kind of turn it around so you can see it a little bit better. That's right where the tympanic membrane sits. That white, it's kind of whitish. It's supposed to be the bone groove. All right.